True.
but we're not musical, as you may know. So we'll keep it just for a bit, as we do have words that kind of fit. If you can, make a better one, send it in, and that'll be fun, because we'll use it, get everyone laughing, because this one is embarrassing. TJ, I thought you could dance at this bit.
No.
TJ, are you dancing?
No, I'm not.
So come along and watch us code, make some stuff, and help you know that not much rhymes with draft will make game for a laugh.
Yeah.
Woo! We're back, and TJ has some important news about caffeine.
So, caffeine, in terms of measurements, if you have the quantity of 100 grams, there is no milligrams of caffeine. So, does that just mean
there's no caffeine in apples? It's just a lie.
That is a horrible. Oh wait, so yeah.
So there's no caffeine in apples, is what you're saying. Per 100 grams, there is nothing in an apple.
Yeah, that's what it says here. There's nothing.
Okay, right. Well, I feel lied to by somebody at some point in my life. Maybe I dreamt it. I don't know. Important facts here right now. There is the same amount of caffeine in an apple as there is in zero amount of coffee. As in a cup of water.
Oh, Ben has joined us in chat. Hello, Ben.
Hello. So yeah, please do use the chat. TJ will be watching over the chat.
I will.
Mastery and typing comments and pressing likes and amusing emojis as quick as he can. Just hear the click of his keyboard there. Watching the show, if you want to, you can comment, and there's going to be a special chocolate challenge. I pressed a button, nothing happened. Wee-hee. There's going to be a special chocolate challenge. And today's chocolate challenge is brought to you by Dairy Milk Dime Bar. So there we go.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. So you can win that one, and we'll post it out to you if you privately message us after you leave a winning comment, and TJ will let you know if you leave a winning comment. But we're here to teach you about some coding, and today we're talking about priorities. It's the second session out of 3 sessions. Look at that magic. 1, 2, 3. There we go. One thing that I prioritised today, I prioritised having my hair cut. Look, I have less around the side, so my earphones fit on.
Nice.
It's very 80s, very kid and play. Yeah. There we go.
Now you said it, I can see the difference.
Good. That's good. It's just it naturally fills the band of the headphones. So yeah. Have you prioritised anything today, TJ? Like waking up?
Yeah. Yeah, getting up at a certain time. Yes.
Ooh, how early did you get up?
9 or just before.
9 in the morning?
Which is early just because of how late I went to sleep.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah.
Very good. And what was happening at 9 in the morning?
A new season came out in a game, and I had to make some content for it. So I was like having to be up super early.
There we go. I like it how you avoided saying Fortnite. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with admitting you're good at Fortnite, TJ. Although for our students who are under 13, you're too young. Right.
Yes.
So we've started to make a game where we are dropping blocks, and we wanted to concentrate on a block that's the priority block. And if we press spacebar at the moment, there we go. Things drop down. Ooh. Yep, that's it. And they should drop down to the bottom.
I've just noticed something.
Yes?
There is it's saying people are commenting in the notifications, but it's not appearing in the game chat, the actual stream chat, sorry.
Well, maybe are they commenting on the one that didn't start, that started and finished? Is it the fact that we've got... They're probably all commenting, they're all kicking off going, the stream's not working, lads. Stream's not working. Stream's not working. It's down. Stream's down, everybody. Stream's down. If you're watching this, it's obviously not down. It's obviously just them.
Yeah, it's saying the comment on all, but it's still not even appearing on that one, so I don't know what Facebook is doing.
So please send a letter to TJ to let him know what you commented, and he'll be able to reply. So the blocks are going to stack up in this game, and we left you with a bug, and the bug was that we have this dropper along here, which we didn't title because we were lazy. It moves left and right. And we have a follower that follows left and right so that we can see where the dropper is. But when we run the application and press space to drop our blocks, our lovely purple blocks that TJ beautifully coloured in earlier. There we go. That stops moving. The dropper stops moving. And we've put it down to, we thought it was the path movement. So let's just change that. We thought that path movement stopped working when it's not visible. So we will change it to bouncing ball. And we will set the initial direction to either left or, well, right, really, if it's on the left, because otherwise it's not going to go anywhere. So to the right, and we will just set a new rule that when this position, test position, let me move it so you can see it. Position, test position. When it goes off on the left side of the screen or the right side of the screen, we need to rotate its direction. And we could get it to bounce, but that's not a guaranteed reversing of direction. So what we can do is we can actually directly change its direction under movement. Under direction, in fact. I'm right in the way of everybody seeing. I'm going to go down next to you, TJ. Hello. Hello. So I'm going to go to direction, select direction, and we're going to use some maths. Here we go. 1 + 1.
Did you just say maths?
I did, TJ. We're going to use an expression. So we've done this a few times before. There's 32 directions in object movement if you're not using physics, and so we want to find out what its current direction is, and we need to add half of 32, which is,
so you're adding 16.
Perfect. We could minus 16, doesn't really matter. Now if we run our application, let's see if we have squished that bug and solved it. It's still going left and right, thank you very much. And yep, still going left and right, still going left and right. It was that horrible path movement, so now we can align. So I'm going to try and align it half on, half off. Here we go. See if I've got it right. Oh, yeah, beautiful. And now I'm going to try and get it dead on. Oh, yeah.
I have attempted to communicate with the people commenting on an older video. I think it's just because it cancelled. They've clicked on the last recent one, so I've tried getting them to move to this one.
Yeah, you can delete the videos as well if you want. So we wanted to set up today these lovely multiple. TJ made some beautiful shapes. We have block 6 and block 5, and they're just lovely. Just look at this. It's like a wizard hat. Very beautiful there, TJ. In fact, block 6 looks so good. It makes block 2 look absolutely rubbish. No offense.
I didn't spend long on them.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna like I always do, just thank you for your work and then start changing it.
I just sprayed away.
So, thanks, TJ. That's great. I'll just change it now. I have this in my character. I have this slight controlling tendency to put my own marks on things. So if someone's done something really good, I'll just change a tiny bit, and then I'll feel that I've made it myself. So yeah, just do on this block as well. There we go. I've just made the stripes bigger. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to set up the next block. We spoke about on Tetris that in the corner of the screen that you have the next block appearing of what's going to come. Because if you're going to prioritize your priority block being in the right place, you need to know what other blocks are coming. So I had a genius idea, TJ, and it involves me having to give a standard convention. Convention. Okay. Different meanings for the word convention. TJ, what's the meaning of convention which you like to go to for the weekend?
A convention is an event which is there to either celebrate or make a gathering for people of the same interest. So it's normally a convention is based on one particular thing. Like you can have sci-fi conventions or like comic book conventions.
Yeah, fantastic. And then the other meaning of the word convention is to follow a certain way of doing things. So like a comic book convention, people have a certain way that they might all do cosplay and dress up. Well, the other meaning of convention is to follow a certain format. So the convention I want to do is on these blocks here is to have the name block, a space, and then the number. A number there. So I probably want to change this block from block 3 to priority block because it's a separate. I want to get it out of that convention. And then block 6, you've been upgraded to block 3. So I've now got a convention that all my blocks are a block and then a number. And I'm going to make a list. Now we haven't really used lists really at all in ClickTeam Fusion in our videos, but I've started to use them more recently. It is just a list. It's just things in order. So I'm going to say block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4, block 5, block 6. No, there's no block 6. Block 5. Now, the list is just a way of working through in order of something, and I'm going to also position it on screen and not get it to follow the frame. If it doesn't follow the frame, it means it's going to always stay in that corner on the screen up there. I'm then going to say that when we press spacebar, we don't just create a block. We're going to delete that. We're going to create an object by its name. So what we're going to do is we're going to just get the current line of the list, and that is what we're going to create. And we're going to create it relative to your aunt, your uncle. No, relative to the dropper. And also, we need to get to the next thing on the list. Now, the easiest way to do that is probably just delete the item off the list that we just had. So we'll delete a line. Can we delete current line? Delete
current line.
Yeah, delete a line. We just need to do the maths of it, which is quite frankly just finding out what the current line number is. There we go. And also, annoyingly, when we run the application, we might find that we press space and nothing happens. Let's have a look. Yeah, as I thought, nothing happens. Due to the fact that it's also following a block randomly. These blocks here, these cheeky blocks. I'm gonna add them to my never create object. All the new ones that TJ made, the beautiful wizard's hat. Let's never create it. And we were doing the never create. Why were we doing that, TJ? Do you remember?
It does look like a wizard's hat, doesn't it?
It does.
I just realised that.
And why were we putting the create thing up here? Why were we having a never create?
So that we so that the same mistake doesn't happen I did earlier, where I created the objects, and then because there were no rules to do with them, once I deleted them, it didn't even come with a warning. It just removed them from the game because there was nothing linked to them. So it prevents this.
So this means that it puts it into the computer's memory, so that it means that we don't have to have it in our game. Do you know what? I've just realised that that's a really rubbish way of doing it. That there is an option, create at start, and if you don't choose create at start, it won't be there until you create it. And that's the right way to do it. So as programmers, there are long ways of doing things, which we showed you in the last session and today, or you could just tick that button and that would have solved our problem. There we go, TJ. Just realised what that button was for. All right, so good.
They learn something new all the time.
So we've got this bug that nothing's been created, because if you look at the list, we're saying that you should create whatever's selected. But the issue is nothing is selected. If I kind of cheat that and click on, say, block 3, there we go, then it's created. But then it doesn't select anything. So I'm just going to have a always rule here. Always select, set current line. Oh, you can't see that anyway. Always set current line to be 1, line number 1, because it starts counting them at 1. So TJ, we're going to have a chocolate challenge question coming up soon for the chance to win this very impressive time. So I don't know if you want to start your thinking of what things you can talk about in terms of priorities.
Ooh. So last week it was
Monday.
What was prioritised the most.
Yes.
So let's think of
I'll carry on talking while you think, TJ. Okay, so you can see it's working through this list. And and also you can see with the wizard's hat, we had a slight bug that it went through it. And that will be the gravitational centre. So if we press G, there we go, move it to the gravitational centre. And also with this block here. That's already perfect. Don't need to worry about that one. That's just the way that physics is calculated. So just interrupt me, TJ, when you have a question. No problem.
I have one now.
Okay.
So, what is the lowest thing on your list of priorities?
Oh, yeah. So what?
One of the lowest.
What thing do you not care about that you give no time to? Yeah, good. Best answer, Time bar chocolate, which is an amazing thing.
Well. Oh, there we go. That's what happened. It wasn't that the stream had stopped. It's I'd accidentally clicked on it and it paused it. So we're all good.
Good. And that is there we go. So we can for many things in life we can say bug fixed. Right. Okay. I'm going to just shove myself over here because don't think I'm going to be working with properties for a bit, and I keep on getting in the way of stuff. And actually, I'll move you up there, TJ. You're not scared of heights, are you?
Oh. No, I'll be all right. I'll be brave.
All right, keep you up there. Right. So we've got the list. So I'm going to also add into here an end to know that we've, it's the end, because then I can say that if end is selected, then it's the end. So we've got it dropping blocks. We want to add a preview window though as well of what's coming up. So I think that we need to run a command after we press space. So when we press space, we create from the list, we delete from the list. But before we delete from the list, we should probably create the next one that's going to appear. And I'm tempted to use layers because layers don't interact with your frame. Things can't collide from one layer to another. And it's probably a good way of doing it. So I'm going to attempt to do this. We're going to say that this frame, it's coefficient, and we spoke about coefficients before, but coefficient is just kind of like a multiple. It's got a scrolling coefficient of 1 to 1, meaning for every pixel we move on one of the layers, we'll move 1 pixel on the other. If we move 100 pixels, we'll move 100 pixels on the other layer, and they all completely match up. So those layers completely match. Now, if we set them to half, it would mean that the background or the foreground, depending which we chose, would move at half the speed. So that if your character moved 10 pixels, the background's only going to move 5. But if we set it to 0, it should mean that it doesn't move at all. Now, this should be helpful to us because what we could then say is that when you press spacebar, we can create an object by name. And what we're going to do is we're just going to create whatever's on the list because we've already deleted the last one off the list. So we'll get the line. Oh, no, not that line. Get current line. And we'll create that. And this time, when it asks where, we're going to create on layer 2, and we'll create it up in the corner here. And, actually, I'm going to put it on the top left for a reason that I'll show you in a moment. So I'm going to create it on layer 2. But if I create it on layer 2, I'm just going to create another object. It's just going to start falling. It's just going to be problematic. It's just going to be not any good. So I'm just going to create a bit further out. I think that's going to be too close to the edge. So I'm going to create it over here. And so if I run the application, you'll see that I just create 2 blocks at once, hopefully. Or not at all. That just completely didn't work. Sad times. So create, let's just double click on this. Create that on layer 2. I'm just gonna see if I can create. Sometimes, if things don't run in the right order, it doesn't work. So I'm just gonna say get line, get current line number, get current line, get line. I'm just gonna try if I do get line 1, see if that solves that bug there. Run application, and just reminder of the chocolate question from TJ there.
As your reminder, so what is low or the lowest on your list of priorities? So what do you deem as something which you don't really find that very important?
Great. Okay, and so just write that in the comments and see if TJ chooses you. That's almost working in a weird kind of worky way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that we create line 2. I'm going to get it to delete after it's created. So it creates line 1, and also just to force it, I'm going to probably do that. I'm going to say create object by name. I'm just going to replace this with get line 1, and then we don't need to have this always select and create it layer 1, create it for the dropper. So then we can just tidy up our code a bit. So create the first one there, create that on the other layer, and I can get rid of this always set line. So hopefully that means that I'll drop 2 blocks at the same time. Nice, good. One block will just not behave properly. Good, because it's on the wrong layer. And the other block behaves fine. What we're going to do is when we create the second block, we are going to... it's got movement attached to it, and an active object has movement attached to it. So we're going to stop it being active. Now you can't just stop something from behaving in an active way, but what you can do is you can paste it into the background. Now having all of these on the same line is really going to mess with my head, so I'm going to have 2 different lines of code, and I'm just going to delete the second creation and delete the first creation. So I'm splitting. All I'm really doing at this point is I'm splitting the line of code into 2. So on this line it creates line 1, on this line it creates line 2, and deletes the line. But for the object that we've created, we want to animation paste image into background. We're going to create a background of it, not an obstacle, no effect on collisions, just nothing. It's just there, just exists, and then we're going to destroy it. So we've kind of stamped it onto the screen. So if we try that, it should mean that, there we go, we get it pasted onto the screen, and there it is. And if I do it again, theoretically, it should paste the next one as well. Oh, we're not deleting the blocks. This delete line, let's separate this out all the way to here and just make a long... So all these rules are going to get run when I press spacebar in that order, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So the first time it looks at it, it's going to create line 1, create line 2, and then we'll delete line, and we will just delete line 1. See if that solves that problem. Sometimes you can get too clever for your own good, putting all of the rules in the same place. There we go, that'll create that one. And if I do it again, yep, there we go. And it's pasting it in. Good. Well, what we need to do is we also need to clear the background. So what we'll also do is we will animation. Can we restore? Animation speed, add backdrop, paste image, add backdrop. Can we clear all background objects? Frame, backdrops. Delete created backdrops at layer 2. Great. Oh, not X coordinate, Y coordinate. We just delete all of them. Yes, layer 2 being the one on top. So, frame. Any comments at all, TJ, or any thoughts about what you don't prioritize?
What don't I prioritize? You know, I've come at this question. It's quite a difficult one because there's a lot of things to really think about, isn't there?
Do you know what I'm not prioritizing at the moment? And you probably don't because you're not a mind reader yet. But I used to prioritize. I was quite hot on not using plastic and avoiding plastic. And then since coronavirus and the need to be more hygienic, that's gone out the window. So, you know, I could buy apples that aren't in a plastic bag, but, you know, in terms of I need to be faster around the shop because I don't want to, you know, stop people coming in.
True.
And also, I probably don't want to pick apples that someone has individually placed in there. So having them in the plastic bag is what I've done. So it's a bit sad for the environment, and using carrier bags, disposable gloves, just things like that, alcohol gel when you're out and about. So yeah,
I think for me, I guess it's I've prioritized the kind of health and safety side of it. So like when my friend came up to sit in the garden, I was like prioritizing the health and safety side, and I didn't really care about their opinion. I was like, listen, you're here, you're gonna do this, and it was like, oh come on, like, you know, don't make me put gloves on, like, and stuff like that. So I was like,
don't make me put gloves on.
I was like, I am prioritizing the health side. So I made them like, douse themselves in sanitizer, and I guess I didn't prioritize their feelings on it, but it was for the greater good.
And that is when you prioritize one thing, it is at the expense of other things. So
yes.
So do get your comments in. Right, I'm going to create a background object for this, just a sign saying next block. And you might notice that the blocks are massive and they look ugly because they take up so much of the screen. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and work out how big the biggest block is, which is this doofer here. And I am going to add in a background that is just a quick backdrop, just lovely and quick. Shove it in. Boom. Oh, they look really ugly. I'm just shoving it into the grey space because no one's going to notice it. Alpha blended coefficient!
The grey space?
Yeah, and then order that to the back. And am I on the right layer? Yeah, layer 2. I can see up here. You can see which layer you're working on from the reference point. Okay, and that's horrible colour. White. There we go. Next block. Now, this, theoretically... oh, yeah, it's because I put a random block on screen. Let's get rid of the random block. This should mean... There we go. That works out okay. Good. Now, if I just tidy up, I'm being very particular about the exact positioning of this. It's just such a waste of time. Should just get on with the coding of the game. If I put this more central, there we go. Now, you know, I set the layer X coefficient, Y coefficient to 0.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering whether if I was to make it, if I could make it smaller, in any way. And I don't think I can. I'm not sure I can. I think what I'll need to do is I will need to create the object on this line, create object 2, put it here. Before I paste it into background, I'm going to set the scale. So I'm going to set the scale of it to be, and 1 is full size, so half size will be 0.5, ladies and 0.5, ladies and gentlemen. There you go.
Sorry, I was just typing a comment. I didn't know if I was being asked a question then, or if it was.
Always, well, I just always happy to have your comments. Now, if you notice,
between the screens,
there's a logical error here that we can't paste it in the background, destroy it, and then set the scale. We will need to set the scale and then paste it into background and then destroy it, which might mean we get a weird flicker effect. Let's see. And once again, I'm moving this, again. If that is halfway, then maybe here is halfway when it's half the size. So let's just go into frame 1, or click on everything here. My computer's struggling. There we go. Set this to be half the size. So using the square blocks to help me there. Let's pop that up the top, and this to be half the size. There. All right. So big. Why is it so big? Right, move my list out of the way. We don't need to see that anymore. I'm going to make my dropper invisible because we really don't need to see it because we've got the follower. I'm going to make the follower look actually a bit more like a dropping arrow. And going to choose 2 different colors, nice big size, and click, 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 click. There we go. Lovely dropper there. Look at that, fantastic. And so now, hopefully we're pretty much there. There we go. And if I press space, the scale thing didn't work before it pasted into the background. Interesting. The next block thing is working, but they're full size. Let me double check what I've done there. I've said set the scale, paste into backdrop, and destroy. I think it's just not running those commands in the right order. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheekily just add a flag onto this. So we've already got a flag for all the blocks of touched. Do you remember if it's touched anything?
Yes.
Now I'm going to use flag 2 just briefly because we're running out of time. I'm going to set flag 2.
In terms of the question, I think I may have asked a slightly difficult one because we haven't had.
So TJ, you can win this. Go on, TJ. Are you willing to award this to yourself? I'll post it to you.
Oh.
I'm willing to do it.
If no one else has claimed it, I will gladly have the
Well, I am awarding, for the first time ever, the chocolate challenge to TJ for your answer that you didn't prioritise your friend's feeling because you cared prioritising more about health and safety. So send me your address privately, TJ, or in fact, I will just remember it. And I'll post that up to you and you can enjoy that and share.
Thank you.
So we're just going to say, so I'm going to set the flag to on this little block here. And I'm going to delete the paste into background and delete the destroy. And I'm just going to say a new condition. If any of these little blocks, if their flags are on, and I miscounted because they start at 0, so flag 1. If flag 1 is on, then we do want to animation, paste into background, and then we want to, at that point, destroy it. Now, I'm not sure if this will work. I think when we paste into background, it's then ignoring the scale. Let's have a look. Yep, didn't help one bit. So we'll have to have another think about...
Thank you in chat, and also Ben's put fix.
Oh, fix.
It's not rigged.
Well,
it's not rigged.
If you'd given an answer, maybe Ben, maybe you would have got it. So,
yeah, Ben, you could have had a chance as well.
So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add. I'm going to just add a second movement to all of these blocks, super quick. So do you know before that we've made things have 2 different movements?
Yes.
Let's just do that on here. Let's just did I not get block? There we go. So theoretically, these are all the blocks touched. I'm going to call it preview, and I'm going to give that a movement type. Has it got all of them? I hope it's got all of them. If it hasn't, I'll be sad. But movement 0, add an extra movement. We're going to add a movement 1, which will just be static. Movement 1, static, great. And then all these blocks should have 2 movements. Movement 1 static, movement 0. Oh, this one didn't. I didn't get this one. Add movement 1. Great. Movement 1 is static. Movement 4. Oh, I've broken this one. Oh, I've broken the whole thing because this one, these are movement 0s have been set to static. Oh, so sad. Right. Oh, shouldn't ever rush. Well, guys, there's a lesson for you. Prioritize doing things slowly and the right way, because if you rush, you can just end up with a right mess in the end. And I'm not sure whether that's worked or not. It totally hasn't worked.
We have another session on Friday to finish and clear up anything.
I wanted to get it to work today, TJ, today. Right, we'll sort that out. I'll sort that out for next time. But all I was going to do is say that if the preview is on, then at that point we can set the scale to 0.5. So let's delete that. So we'll set the scale, if it's preview, set the scale to 0.5 and then set the movement. Oh, what a car crash. Right. Multiple movements, select movement, movement 1. We will also say only run this once, otherwise it will keep on making it smaller. Limit conditions, runs when event loops, movement 1, and then when you press spacebar and your preview is on, we will then destroy it. And then we can just get rid of this whole delete all backdrops, because nothing is a backdrop anymore. It's all an active object. If that works, I'll show you that next week. But thank you very much. We will. I will just say, do prioritize the right things in life. Otherwise, you can just end up making so much more mess. So there we go. Right. Okay, TJ. Any wise words from you?
Friday. I was going to say something very similar, to be honest.
Good. Good. All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
This is the intro we did for the show, but we're not musical, as you may know. So we'll keep it just for a bit, as we do have words that kind of fit. If you can, make a better one, send it in, and that'll be fun, because we'll use it, get everyone laughing, because this one is embarrassing. TJ, I thought you could dance at this bit.
No.
TJ, are you dancing?
No, I'm not.
So come along and watch us code, make some stuff, and help you know that not much rhymes with draft will make game for a laugh.